102.7 WMOM, Pentwater, Ludington, Wellston, and all of West Michigan. It's 8 o'clock. Good morning and welcome to Leading West Michigan, a show about success and featuring local leaders and people in local business.
Good morning, West Michigan. It's Saturday morning, and it's another episode of Leading West Michigan. And today we have two special guests in the studio with us. And I've been looking forward to this conversation for quite some time because, folks, we're talking here about an historic transition for Mason County. One of our guests is Fabian Knizacky, the first and, I might add, the only county administrator that Mason County has ever had. And we also have our incoming and soon-to-be new county administrator, Kaitlyn
Szczypka.
Thank you for helping us understand the pronunciation. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the one to say it first because I was a little concerned that I would do it right.
It's a lot of consonants.
Kaitlyn Szczypka, we welcome you to Mason County. You've been here for 6 months now, and you've been transitioning well. So we want to talk about all of that, talk about your background, and talk about the remarkable 30-year career of Fabian Knizacky as the county administrator here in Mason County. So welcome to both of you to the program. We appreciate you being here. So Fabian, as you decided to bring your long-term role here in Mason County to a close, you decided to stay on for an extra year after your successor was named. What went into that decision?
Well, my wife would say it was insanity, but in reality, when the board interviewed candidates for my replacement and decided that they would select Kaitlyn, they asked me to stay on and mentor her. She did not have a background in county administration, and so they thought that that would be of value of helping her get integrated into the Mason County system and how we do things. And so that's how we came to the conclusion that I would stick around for another 11 months.
Well, Kaitlyn, I'm sure that has been helpful to you as the incoming county administrator. And we're going to get into your background, too, because while you may not have been a county administrator before, you've had a wide and varied experience that has prepared you for this job. And we want to get into that as well. But let's start first with, have the two of you decided when the transition will actually take place?
Well, my last day will be January 31st, 2025.
And that will be, what, 31 years after you started in 1994?
Yes,
Wow.
I'll have 31 years in.
Well, we congratulate you on that. And
thank you.
We know that Mason County is being run in a very, very efficient and smooth way. You have had many accolades throughout your career, and we certainly want to highlight that a little bit today. But first, let's turn to Kaitlyn Szczypka, our incoming and soon-to-be new county administrator. We've never been able to say that before. We've never had a succession in the county administrator's office, and so we certainly welcome you. Give us a little bit of background. Where was your most recent stop before taking this new assignment?
Yes, so my husband and I moved down to Ludington from northern Michigan. We were in the Traverse City area. I was working for a small Bayside community called Elk Rapids as their village clerk for 3 years before coming here. And before that, I started off in Antrim County in 2019, working in the Register of Deeds and an emergency operations center when needed.
Oh, so you have had experience in county government.
Yes.
Even though not as a county administrator.
Correct.
So you know the ropes. So tell us a little bit about your experience, sort of some of the key things that you bring to this new role and will hopefully help you succeed in the county administrator role.
Yeah, so I graduated with a dual degree in public policy and history from Michigan State University.
A fellow Spartan, let me add.
Yes. From there, went to Detroit, working with the Coalition of Nonprofits and Churches, working in volunteer management. And then when I was in Elk Rapids, I earned my master's in public administration. So I do have a lot of academic knowledge and experience that I bring to this role. Lots of communication skills. At Elk Rapids, I helped out with media and press, communicating throughout the organization. I am collaborative in nature. I appreciate a good team, which I have to mention. We have an amazing team here at the county that has made this transition so smooth between all of the elected officials, department heads, and county workers. It has been so wonderful integrating onto this team and learning the ropes here in Elk Rapids. In Mason County.
Well, you have multiple degrees you just mentioned. How many degrees does Kaitlyn bring with her to Mason County?
I have 3, and I have been told that I am now done. No more school for me.
So, at least 1 degree from Michigan State, and the other ones are?
2 from Michigan State and 1 from Central Michigan University.
Well, fantastic. So that was your public administration
Correct.
degree.
Yes.
Well, that has to have prepared you well for the roles you've had since then.
Yes, I got to take lots of interesting classes throughout there, how to manage local government, working with the state, personnel management, learned a lot of best practices, how to collaborate with the community. Lots of amazing knowledge from there. My final project was in women in local government, so how we can raise leaders to take on these roles for women. It's a demographic that is usually underserved in local management of government. So I talked about the Women in Municipal Leadership Program that the Michigan Municipal League runs since 2018. And how the trajectory of that program and the cohorts of women each year have been doing, and how this program has empowered more women leadership in municipal management.
Well, it looks to me like you're putting that knowledge into practice.
Trying to, yes.
All right. Well, congratulations. Give us a little bit of background as to where you grew up, and have you been a Michigan person all your life?
I sure have. I grew up in Southwest Michigan on a farm in Van Buren County. So Mason County is very similar with the lakeside community, agriculture. Down there was a very active Bangor Historical Society, which is the town that I grew up in, and a Van Buren Historical Society. And lots of that connects back to here in Mason County. So it really feels like home coming up here, growing up in Southwest Michigan and coming up the Lake Michigan coast to settle here in Mason County.
And so I assume that someone with your background and knowledge had a lot of options in terms of your career path. Why Mason County? What caused you to focus on coming here and providing us with the benefit of your experience?
Yeah, so I graduated with my master's in public administration at the end of last year in 2023. Around then, I was starting to look for other jobs. My husband and I agreed that, it was time to look around and see what was open. And so started looking at different opportunities throughout the state. Saw the opening at Mason County. I knew I had county experience, decided to apply. In that process, I did a lot of research into this community. I had prior experience. We grew up camping up here at the state park. Yes, and so that was a connection that I remember from my childhood. I did several trips up here to Mason County, driving around, visiting all the small communities, looking at the farmland, going along the Mason County cultural trails, which were really neat. So in doing all of that prior research and scoping out the place, it just felt like a really unique community and also very similar to what I was used to. There is a lot of stability within this government. When I was doing research on the organization itself, I was able to look at some of the financials, and I saw that it was extremely healthy and sustainable, which is not always the case in Michigan communities, depending on decisions that are made. I saw that there was a really good team here. That was something that was really important to me, to have a really good organizational culture and team and leadership. And so all of my research into the community and the organization was really good. And so I decided, to really work at it. And I did my research. I read a lot of minutes from the past meetings. And I thought that my skill set could be well utilized here.
Well, we can thank your soon-to-be predecessor for the condition of Mason County and providing you with a solid foundation to start on your career here. And we look forward to working with you over the years, too. You have a lot of people to manage in a county like this. Tell us a little bit about your experience with being the leader and having a staff.
Yeah, so in lots of previous positions, whether it was volunteer management in Detroit or in other local government positions, I have been a team leader, whether that's directly managing employees or making sure that I am providing support for my team members. So I'm excited to bring that in as the administrator, providing support to all of the elected and department heads, listening, doing a lot of engagement with our employees, listening to the community and what our needs are, and then working with the elected officials and especially the board to decide what are our goals, how do we want to, work toward that. So I am excited to engage with this team and work with the entire county to make sure we can move Mason County into a bright future.
Well, how excellent. We were joking a little bit before we started the program today about how I asked you sort of, where did you settle when you moved here? And you said, well, we got a house just 4 blocks away from the county courthouse. And I said, Kaitlyn, did nobody mention to you that your office is at the airport?
Yes, and it's actually been really great working out there. It's very nice having the offices out there.
Now, we're going to be talking with Fabian a little bit later about the decision to move the county administrator's office and many of the county key meetings out to the airport and why that was a good decision. But at any rate, you've settled in pretty well, it seems like.
Yes, like I said, I am extremely grateful that Fabian has decided to spend this year with me learning about so I can get on board with all the finances and operations of the county. And again, I've just had an amazing team to work with. It's been so wonderful getting to know every single person who works for the county, and I'm looking forward to working with them and serving alongside them.
Well, I attended the interviews when the county was looking for someone to come in as the new county administrator. Excuse me. And I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen anyone who seemed less nervous in a job interview than you did that day. You were extremely impressive.
Thank you. I was extremely excited to be there and even just have that opportunity to be at the table. So I was ready to seize that opportunity, do my best, and I knew no matter what the outcome was, I was really grateful to just even be invited to interview for the county and get to know it.
Well, and obviously, the rest is history, as they say. Mm-hmm. Looking back over your career, are there some highlights that stand out to you that you're particularly proud of, that you would like to share with us, that you think might be applicable, perhaps, to here in Mason County.
Yes. So working in Elk Rapids, one of my favorite things to do was to work on grants, whether it was applying for them, administering them. Right before I left, we were awarded the RAP 2.0 grant for economic redevelopment, and that was to redesign our secondary economic corridor in Elk Rapids. So that was Ames Street. It was an incredible feat. And then the award amount was just under $1 million to help get that sort of money, and with the match to help the community. I also was helping with the Spark grant, which is a Parks and Recreation grant. Elk Rapids was awarded it to continue the Chain of Lakes water trail as one of the trailheads for that. That was a really amazing grant to be part of the team with, especially on the administrative side.
I've been on that waterway in my kayak, by the way.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So with those, being part of those teams to bring that sort of funding into the community was something that I was really proud of, and something that I was able to then translate into my work here at Mason County. Fabian and I have been working at getting some housing grants for the community to help with rehabilitation of the current housing stock. So doing emergency repairs for homes. We have been awarded the Michigan State Housing Development Authority's CHILL grant. We were just awarded the My Neighborhoods grant. And while we have been awarded those, we are still working with the state on the grant agreements. And once we have everything secured and can get started with these programs, we will make an announcement to the community that those programs are open up. And then we will be taking applications. But we are not taking applications just yet, but we are gearing up to do that.
I love the acronyms that we come up with sometimes. So the CHILL grant. Yeah, that's something that you might think that would be applicable to a lakeshore community. Chill out here. But it's much different than that. Well, congratulations. I mean, that's a very signal success that you and Fabian have had together. And so we congratulate you on that. So how soon do you foresee all of that coming to fruition?
Well, we are still waiting on the state to get those grant agreements ready, and we are not quite sure what their timeline is. But again, as soon as we find out, as soon as we're able to execute and move forward, we're going to make a community announcement to make sure that everyone knows that these funds are available, how to apply, what's eligible, who's eligible, and get this much needed funding out into our communities.
All right. Well, let me put a question out to both of you. We'll turn to Fabian first. How is the transition progressing? How are things going in this 1 year period? You're about halfway through, as I recall.
I think things are going excellently. Kaitlyn has picked up on items that she didn't have a background in, and we start with going through things together, and then when it comes around the next month, I let her go ahead and try to do them on her own, and she's very good at coming back and asking questions if there's something that just doesn't make sense. But as we've gone month for month, there's less questions and more of her just being able to pick things up and do them on her own. So I'm very pleased with how it's gone so far.
And from your perspective, Kaitlyn, how are things going?
Things are going really well. Like I said, I am so grateful that Fabian is spending this time, 1 extra year, to help me get on board, learn the ropes, understand the nitty-gritty of the finances and operations of our organization. Again, we just have such a wonderful team that it's been great working with and learning from everyone. I am so grateful to hear all of the different perspectives that people bring to the county, both internally and externally. So hearing from employees, but also from community members as I am integrating into the community. It's been a great learning process to learn about Mason County through the eyes of others.
All right. Well, glad to have you here. And We are going to be coming back in just a couple of minutes, and we'll be focusing next on Fabian and some of the highlights of his career. So we're looking forward to that, and we will be back on Leading West Michigan after this break.
Welcome to the future of driving excitement at Watson Motors, where we're thrilled to introduce the new 2024 Dodge Hornet GT. This isn't just a car, it's a revolution on wheels, wrapped in a striking 8-ball exterior with a sleek black interior ready to make a statement on the streets. With only 12 miles on the clock and a price tag of $32,040, this masterpiece combines luxury with performance in a way only Dodge can. Beneath its hood lies a powerhouse 2.0-liter 4-cycle engine paired with a seamless 9-speed automatic transmission, ensuring a ride that's as smooth as it is thrilling. And with all-wheel drive capability, the Hornet GT is equipped to take on any adventure, any season. Technology and comfort reign supreme inside, with parking assist, satellite radio, and an MP3 sound system creating an oasis of entertainment. Stay connected with hands-free communication and experience effortless access with remote keyless entry. Safety is unmatched with traction control, ABS brakes, and a tire pressure monitoring system guarding every journey. But that's just the beginning. The Dodge Hornet GT boasts a suite of features designed to elevate your driving experience, including heated side mirrors, rain-sensing wipers, and dual-zone climate control, ensuring you and your passengers are in complete comfort no matter where the road takes you. Experience the unparalleled 2024 Dodge Hornet GT today at Watson Motors. Visit us in Ludington, Manistee, and Benzie to see this marvel for yourself and discover why, at Watson Motors, our name means a great deal.
The instant you held your newborn baby, your heart grew larger. From that moment, you knew your life had changed, and you would do anything to love and protect your child forever. Drying tears and encouraging them are things you do every day. Safeguarding them when the unexpected in life happens is important too. I'm Jamison Tomaski, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm here to help when the unexpected happens. Call me at 231-398-3000 or visit me online.
Mom's Fridge Magnets are community calendar announcements presented by Watson Motors, West Michigan, CMH, McGee Insurance, and Lakeshore Automotive and Tire. Another fridge magnet comes your way next.
Hi, this is Lori from West Michigan CMH. Recovery is a journey of healing and transformation. For mental health challenges or substance use disorders, it's about living meaningfully and striving for your full potential. Start living your best life. Call us today at 1-800-992-2061.
Is your AC on the fritz? Get it working again with Lakeshore Automotive and Tire. Expert service, quick repairs. Stay cool this summer. Visit Lakeshore Automotive and Tire today on South James Street. Your comfort is our priority.
At Golden Sands Golf and Bucket Bar, located in Mears on August 7th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Leo's Classic Car Show will be in full swing. This event celebrates Leo Woodley's love of classic cars, inspired by his passion for Corvettes. All are welcome to join in the fun, so don't miss out on the opportunity to enjoy free cake and ice cream while supplies last. It's sure to be a fantastic evening celebrating classic cars and community spirit. If your group or nonprofit organization has an announcement that you would like others to know about, reach out to us and we'll add it for free to the Fridge Magnet program, thanks to Lakeshore Automotive and Tire, McGee Insurance, West Michigan, CMH, and Watson Motors.
Finding out how the journey began to their success. It's Leading West Michigan on 102.7 WMOM.
And we're back on Leading West Michigan on WMOM, and we want to welcome those who are watching us as well as listening to us on the radio through the Facebook page, and welcome everyone to our program. We're talking today with Mason County's first and only county administrator, Fabian Knizacky, who will soon be retiring, and his selected successor, Kaitlyn Szczypka. And she will be the new county administrator starting February 1st, 2025, we learned in the earlier segment. So we want to focus in this segment, Fabian, on you and your career. I mean, 30 years is a tremendous amount of time to be in a role. You've seen a lot of changes, I assume. Is the county significantly different now than it was when you first took on this role?
Well, I'd say yes, it is. First of all, when I started with the county was suffering from some financial difficulties at that time. There were a number of our buildings that were in need of renovation or replacement. And the other thing that was a challenge, start out with being the first county administrator, it was kind of finding my role in the community, and not only overall in the community, but the community of county government. And I was fortunate to work with with my initial board being very true believers in having the county administrator position being created and to provide the support necessary. Sometimes that transition is difficult, but the board at that time believed in the position, believed in the fact that if you were going to hire somebody to provide you with advice and recommendations on how to proceed on different projects, that you needed to listen to them. And they gave me full support when I first came in, which was important because we had to address a lot of challenging issues. We had a landfill at that time that was losing money, creating some of the financial difficulties that we had. We had gotten cuts of federal revenue sharing at the time, and so the county's finances were pretty bleak. And so the other thing that was a challenge that was presented to me initially was the fact that our jail at that time was too small for the community. We had grown from when it was first built in the late 1950s and had 32 beds. We had a continuing crisis of the fact that we would have overcrowding in the jail, and then inmates would be released early. And the community was concerned about that. Mm-hmm. And so one of the first projects that I was involved in was either looking at coming up with a plan for building a new jail or for doing an expansion of the existing jail. We ended up doing an expansion with the existing jail. We expanded that to 110 beds. We were fortunate at that time that the voters voted in a millage to support the construction of that jail and also for the additional operations of that jail, because under state law we had to add 6 corrections officers to staff the jail to make sure that we had adequate staffing for a jail that size. And so that has taken care of the overcrowding problem. We have not had that issue occur since we built that jail.
Well, now, over the years, you've proved yourself to be a very perceptive and intelligent fellow. Given what you've just told us, how smart was it to take this job?
Actually, when I first started the job, I questioned my sanity at that time because the financial situation actually ended up being worse than what I initially thought coming into it. But part of the reason that I did take the job, actually a number of reasons. One, it was my hometown area. I grew up in Freesall, and so I wanted to come back and assist my home county. And the other thing is the difficulties were in areas where I felt I had the strengths to be able to help the county move forward. I graduated with a degree in business administration with a focus on accounting. I had worked for a number of years as a auditor of government, so I had seen a lot of different examples of what worked, what didn't work, and then I had spent 2.5 years in Eaton Rapids working for the city, and so I thought coming in that my strengths and abilities matched well with what the county needed at that time.
Yeah, well, we're glad you made that decision. Obviously, you're a gentleman who is up to a challenge. And we've heard from Kaitlyn that the county finances are in excellent shape now.
Yes.
So obviously you have met that challenge and very successfully. Would you say that is the signal achievement of your 30 years here?
I think that's one of the biggest achievements that the county board and I and the staff have been able to accomplish. So we got out of the financial difficulties, and there were some painful things that we had to do at that time. We cut some staff. We eliminated funding to fire departments. We closed down the landfill. And so those were decisions that were not popular within the community, and they ended up helping us turn it around. And then there were long-term plannings that we did financially. We decided when we started turning the corner on the finances that we would not start adding staff back. Because that was a significant cost savings by being able to do things with less, and the staff at that time bought into that concept. They saw the benefits of that, and so we got the best bang for our buck from our employees, and I think that was a key thing, is how the elected officials, the Board of Commissioners, and the employees bought into a new concept of how to look at running a county, and it turned out to be very, very beneficial. We were very aggressive at going after grants on the jail project that we did. The voters had approved 0.82 mills for that project, but we went out and got a regional jail grant at that time, and that allowed us to roll back that millage to 0.78. So not only did taxpayers trust us with funds, but we showed our gratitude by going out and aggressively looking for additional funds so that we didn't have to levy the full millage that they had authorized for us. Another thing that I think as a county we should be proud of is how we addressed the rest of our buildings. Like I said, a number of our buildings were in decline at that time, needed to either be renovated or replaced. We renovated the courthouse, brought it back to looking more like its original decor from when it was built. When I first got here, we talked about replacing the courthouse. But when we saw the cost of abandoning the courthouse and moving to a new building, we decided that we were going to look at doing what was necessary to maintain that building. So we did an initial renovation, like I said, to bring back the original decor, but then we also made it more habitable for the 20th century by putting air conditioning in the building, which was a major building in a major project in a building of 1893.
I would say that made you a hero with the county staff, if nothing else did.
Actually, it was a challenge to work in that building at this time of year. About a week before the board approved that project, in my office, we registered a temperature of 100 degrees when we were working, because you may have said, well, that building's been around for 100 years at that time, but part of the things that have happened over the years is, one, we have probably twice as many offices in that building from when it was originally filled, so you have more people in there generating more body heat. Mm-hmm. Then the other thing is we've added computers, and computers throw off quite a bit of heat. And when we started adding more staffs, kind of cut up that building so that the natural breezes that came through in the original design were blocked. For example, where my office used to be, that used to be a entrance to the courthouse, and that was blocked off. So over the years, some of the things that had been done had made the temperature in that building rise. So adding the air conditioning was a significant improvement. And then also, before I got there, actually, they had put elevator into the building, which addressed the ADA concerns, and also put a roof on the building. That roof we just replaced last year, and so that again is allowed us to continue to use that building into the 21st century, and I believe it's in a position that we'll be able to use it for years to come. And it's a beautiful historic building, and I'm glad that we were able to maintain it as a working building. Excuse me.
I'm fascinated by the description you've made of restoring the building to its historic character. As it happens, I was involved some years ago in a similar project with the state capitol. The capitol had beautiful tall ceilings in many of the areas where overfloors had been built and offices crammed into a second story, and all those were taken out and renovated similar to what you did here. And so I'm fascinated to hear that we went through that process.
Right, and I think it made for a beautiful addition to the community, because we've had a number of people that have come and toured the courthouse and taken pictures and have commented on how beautiful. And on most summer weeks, you'll see tourists out on the lawn taking pictures of the building, and it is a gem for the community. Another project that we did in the building area is people that have been in the county for a long time may remember the little cement block airport terminal that we had. Not very big and not much of as far as appeal to the eye. And we were able to partner with the Chamber of Commerce at that time and put together a building that accommodated both their needs and our needs as an airport. And they were a long-term tenant in that project, which helped make the finances work for that project. It's just another example of how we use partnerships and alternative sources of revenue to provide the funding without going to the taxpayers to ask for additional funds. And we use that type of role in building a new DHHS building, which we leased to the state of Michigan, which helped with the financing on that. We also built a new health department, again, using normal general fund dollars and bonding, and as a result, we did not have to ask the voters for any additional taxes with those buildings.
That has got to be one of the most remarkable things that has happened during your tenure as county administrator, because typically when those kinds of projects are undertaken, it means a significant investment by the taxpayers to make it happen.
Right, and that's what we did on the jail building, like I said earlier. But one of the lessons I learned in that millage campaign for building an addition on the jail is that folks don't like when we ask them for more money, taxes for the buildings, and got a lot of pushback at that time saying, well, the building's 40 years old. What have you been doing for the last 40 years to plan for the replacement? And my explanation at that time is I wasn't here. But the lesson that I learned is those campaigns are difficult. And if you can use long-term planning to avoid having to go ask the people for additional taxes, then it's our duty to do that. And the county board bought into that concept. We set aside funds every year for different projects that we know are going to happen long term, and as a result, we have the money to do that. And then the other thing is, like I said, we use partnerships. For example, the 911 center, that was a partnership with Oceana County where they paid for half of the costs, and we paid for half of the costs to get that building up and running, and then Actually, what we did is we used bonding at that time to get that project done, with both counties sharing the costs of that. And then as the 911 revenues came in, they paid back the cost of that building. And another partnership that we did with West Shore Community College and Manistee County was the ice arena out at the college campus. That was a project that we used donations, a grant from the state of Michigan, $750,000, and then contributions from both counties and from the college to make that project happen, again without asking the taxpayers for any additional taxes.
Significant community asset, both for the college and for the rest of the county.
Right. Excuse me.
Your mention of millage campaigns and funding mechanisms causes me to get a little plug in for the fact that we have an August primary coming up. As you know, my day job is at the Scottville Senior Center.
That's correct.
And we have a millage renewal on the ballot in the August primary election. And we want to point out that, as you have said, that is being asked to continue at the same rate that it has had for the last 6 years and the 6 years before that. And in fact, for the past 16 years, the senior millage has been in exactly the same. So that's another example of how the county continues to provide excellent services without increasing taxes in many cases.
That's correct, and that millage has been supported very strongly in the past, and we would hope that they would continue to, the taxpayers would continue to support that millage because of the necessary services that it provides to our seniors.
Yeah. Well, the jail that you mentioned is certainly a fine facility at this point, and it's just hard for me to imagine that we had a jail that was only like, what was it, 36 beds or something?
32 beds at the
32 beds at that time. Pretty remarkable that we were able to exist for a long time, and now we have how many?
110 beds.
Yeah.
Currently.
So
right.
Now we've got a facility that really meets the needs going forward. So that's great. I remember there was a big sewer project, too, during your tenure.
Yes.
What was involved there?
We partnered with City of Scottville, Amber Township, and West Shore Community College as far as from a financial standpoint to extend the sewer line that at that time ended at Stiles Road, to extend it east to the City of Scottville so that they could get connected into the county system that takes waste back to the Ludington treatment plant. Oh. And then also we went up north on Stiles Road up to the college to get the college connected in because they were having issues with their lagoons. Both entities had their own lagoons to treat the waste, but those had become unacceptable at the time, and so we got them both connected into the Ludington system. That was a $9.4 million project. Wow. That not only required partnership with those communities, but we also had to get agreements with Victory Township, the Amber DDA, City of Ludington, and Pere Marquette Charter Township, because we were flowing through so many different jurisdictions with that system. We were able to procure a $4,750,000 grant from the federal government to assist those communities with that project. And then also on top of that, we got a $4 million low-interest loan to cover the bulk of the cost of that project. That was the project up to West Shore was something that had been looked at for a number of years, but we were able to finally get that project done.
Oh, for sure. You have had some very, very complex issues to deal with as county administrator. We'd like to get into a few more of those, if we may. But right now, we're going to take a quick break here, and we will be back with Fabian Knizacky and Kaitlyn Szczypka.
Attention business owners, are you looking for the perfect financial partner to help your business thrive? Look no further than Safe Harbor Credit Union. Our business tiered money market account offers competitive tiered rates. The higher your balance, the higher your rate. Maintain a $5,000 minimum daily balance to enjoy our impressive APY. Plus, enjoy unlimited transactions and free digital banking with online banking, bill pay, mobile banking with mobile deposit, and free e-statements. Keep your business flexible with enhanced access to your funds and pair it easily with your business checking accounts. Need a reliable checking account? Our business share draft checking is free for businesses of all sizes. No monthly service fees, no minimum balance requirements, and unlimited check writing. Plus, enjoy free digital banking, a free MasterCard debit card, and more with just $25 minimum deposit to open. Establish your membership with our business share accounts, providing competitive dividends on your entire balance with no minimum balance requirements and no monthly service fees. Enjoy all the benefits of free digital banking and night drop services with only a $5 minimum deposit to open. And don't forget our merchant services and business loans. We offer competitive rates for working capital, equipment, inventory, facility improvements, and more. With quick local decision making and friendly service from start to finish, Safe Harbor Credit Union is your trusted partner for all your business needs. Go to safeharborcu.org or visit us at 5511 West US 10 Ludington. Let Safe Harbor Credit Union help your business set sail for success. Safe Harbor Credit Union, your safe port for any financial storm. APY equals annual percentage yield. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Discover a career that exceeds expectations at Oakview Medical Care Facility, where every employee is an integral part of the like family spirit. Here, the focus is on creating a harmonious balance between professional growth and compassionate care. Oakview invests in its team, offering paid educational opportunities and practical training for career advancement. Flexible working with 3 different shifts allows for a harmonious work-life balance, complemented by competitive experience-based wages. Enjoy unparalleled benefits at Oakview, including a robust 401A and a variety of non-cost insurance options. New staff members are greeted with a sign-on bonus and additional bonuses for consistent attendance. Step into Oakview's facility, a place that radiates warmth and care. Our facility has comfortably appointed resident rooms. It's a setting that feels like home. The facility is vibrant with activities, ensuring residents lead a joyful and engaged life. At Oakview Medical Care Facility, building a career in healthcare means becoming a part of a family committed to providing outstanding care and nurturing personal growth.
Open the door to your dream home this July with Vischer Construction and Restoration, Inc. Looking to build a new home? Vischer Construction specializes in design builds, working with clients from start to finish. Our in-house design team, project management, and skilled finish carpenters ensure every detail is perfect. Imagine a home where every corner reflects your vision and style. With custom home building services, you'll get the perfect blend of functionality, energy efficiency, and aesthetic appeal. Whether seeking modern elegance, rustic charm, or timeless classic designs, a wide range of styles and materials are available to match your personal taste in home architecture. From the initial concept to the final finishing touches, Vischer Construction takes pride in delivering homes that meet the highest standards. The commitment to quality and attention to detail sets Vischer Construction apart. Are you ready to build the home of your dreams? Call Vischer Construction at 231-852-4734. Our team is ready to bring your vision to life. Once again, reach out at 231-852-4734. Build your better tomorrow with Vischer Construction.
Finding out how the journey began to their success. It's Leading West Michigan on 102.7 WMOM.
And we're back on Leading West Michigan with County Administrator Fabian Knizacky and Deputy Administrator Kaitlyn Szczypka, who will be, as of February 1st of next year, our new County Administrator. Well, we've talked about a lot of the things that happened during Fabian's tenure, a lot of remarkable progress for Mason County. And so, Kaitlyn, I guess everything is taken care of and you have nothing to do. Is that right?
We have a lot of things that we're spending time and energy here at the county. The board has chosen to focus a lot on housing initiatives within the county, and we're tackling those in a lot of different ways. We also have the materials management plan that the state has said that counties are responsible for that we're working on. We have opioid settlement funds that we are planning on using in our community to help remediate the crisis that we are facing across the nation and here at home, on top of lots of other administrative activities that we are, working on here at the county.
Well, I looked on the county's website, and it has a long list of duties of the county administrator, and there are 18 of them listed on the county website. So I said to Kaitlyn and Fabian the other day, well, I said, that's a pretty comprehensive list, and they started laughing. Why was that, Kaitlyn?
Well, on day one, starting here at the county, Fabian handed me about a 10-page document of detailing all of the duties that he does, from finances, grant management, staffing, lots of other duties. So what's on the website is kind of a skimming the surface level of what we do here in administration. There are lots of hats that we wear as we go along, supporting several different county initiatives and operations here.
Well, so how are the two of you splitting up the roles? I assume there's a transition in the kinds of things you're taking on, and that Fabian is handing off to you. Is that the case?
Absolutely, yes. So it's been really great observing Fabian these last 6 months. We usually, whenever we encounter something, we'll go through it together, so I know his mindset and how he approaches these different tasks. And then once I kind of get the hang of it, he'll let me tackle it the next time. And so it's been a pretty good transition, learning all of those different things. In addition to learning those routine things, it's been really great working with Fabian as a team. But as I mentioned earlier, we've been working on grants and other initiatives, so we're able to, split up certain duties and get these grants and other tasks done, utilizing both of our strengths, and then being able to accomplish a lot during this time while there are two of us, in this office.
Well, all the leaders of our county have been focusing on housing, and you mentioned earlier in the program the housing grant for emergency renovations and that sort of thing. And has that been one of the main focuses of your early work here in the county?
Yes, it has been. We've been working on a few Michigan State Housing Development Authority, or MSHDA, grants. The first one we applied for back in February was the CHILL grant. We were awarded that about a month later, and that's for $500,000 to help different folks here in the community at certain income levels do emergency repairs. And like I said, while we haven't had access to the funding yet, because the state is still working on their end for the grant agreements, once we are notified that we are ready to get going with those projects, we'll be making a big community announcement saying that we're ready for applications.
Well, that's one reason why we have local governments, because you can be a lot more flexible and quick moving than the state apparatus, which can grind exceedingly slowly sometimes.
Yes.
But how is it going? Can you tell us when those funds are available? What will that mean to people here in the county, and how will they try to access those funds? Could you give us a little picture of how that will work?
Yeah, so these funds, both through the CHILL grant and the My Neighborhoods grant, they have the same goals of rehabilitating our current housing stock. So doing emergency repairs, whether it's interior or exterior work, roof repairs to plumbing and all over. People will be able to apply for either $1,000 up to $40,000 to help do these repairs. and then we will all work together to get them done and really help our community out with our housing stock.
Okay. And then the other focus of housing, of course, is not only renovating the current stock, but how do we get additional housing here in the county? So what are we looking at there? Fabian?
Well, one of the initiatives that the county board has agreed to include in our brownfield program is a new state law that allows developers to come to the county and apply for brownfield funding for housing projects. And it's geared towards affordable housing so that if it costs, for example, $300,000 to build a house and the target market that we're looking at can only afford, say, $240,000, they can come to the county and ask for a brownfield plan that would make up the difference between those two numbers. And that plan then has to go to the state, and MISTA reviews that and approves using state dollars to support that initiative. So that is something that the county board just approved, and we will be proposing that to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for them to include that in their programs, so that developers that are looking to do new construction, whether it's rental or single-family housing, can apply for that money and help put together projects that will serve the part of our populations that are struggling to find housing. Okay. And so I think that's an excellent initiative that we've already had two developers contact the county about the possibility of putting together a project that would work with that type of initiative.
Well, obviously an important priority. Are there some other high priority items that you and Kaitlyn are working on together that you will be then handing off to her to administer?
Well, I think the two that she has already mentioned, the material management plan, that is a major redo on how the county does, the county and the state does recycling and keeping waste out of the landfills, whether it's through recycling, composting, reuse. The state has a statewide goal of getting to 30% of waste being recycled, and the state law that they passed and handed that off to counties to develop on an individual basis is pretty extensive, and that will be a big project over the next 3 years that Kaitlyn will have to take the lead on for the county. And then the opioid grant program that opioid settlement monies that we've received, we're going to have to do an assessment on how to best use those funds within our community, and again, Kaitlyn will be taking the lead on those, and those will be two projects that are going to be very time consuming over probably the next 3 to 4 years. The other thing that I think is going to be a challenge going forward is the state government continues to ask us to do more things at the local level. It's not just with the administrator's office. The sheriff gets additional duties on a regular basis. The treasurer's office, the clerk gets significant changes related to elections because of the turmoil that we've had over the last 4 or 5 years related to elections. And so those are all things that are putting demands on our current staff. And so we're going to have to look at the administrative side of it, is how do we make sure that those offices are supported well enough so that they can meet the duties that are being required of them. And so it'll be an instance that we probably be looking at more staff in some of those offices, which obviously costs money, and we'll have to come up with a plan on how to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's always been part of the dynamic between the state and local governments, because there's always been this conflict between the state mandating certain things, but not providing the money to make them implemented. And they just rely on the local governments to do that. So obviously you're dealing with it. You've come through the COVID thing. Most of that is behind us, we hope. But the hits just keep on coming, don't they?
Yes, they do. That's part of the game.
And Kaitlyn, let's close off by asking you to reflect a little bit on how you're looking forward to this next step in your life.
Yes, so come February 1st, I will be the administrator. Again, I am so grateful for these past 6 months of spending time with Fabian and getting to know not just the county employees, but the community and all of our different partners that we get to work with. I'm really excited to continue those relationships and work all together to do what's best for the entirety of Mason County and to work toward a bright future together.
Well, thank you both. This week on Leading West Michigan, we've been talking with the first and only county administrator Mason County has ever had, Fabian Knizacky, and his remarkable career here, and our incoming deputy administrator at present, but soon to be our new county administrator, Kaitlyn Szczypka. So thank you all for joining us, and we will look forward to talking with you again next week on Leading West Michigan.
Thank you, Bill.
You've been listening to Leading West Michigan, a weekly program where you hear success stories of local officials and business leaders. Join us next week for more of Leading West Michigan right here on 102.7 WMOM.